Howdy-ho, friends and neighbors! Welcome back to WEGAF Reviews! You may have noticed that I'm extra obnoxiously peppy today. There's a reason for that. Yes, indeedy do, and it all ties into today's word, weaponry. So what about the word weaponry has me all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed? Well, to answer that, I'll have to get a bit more specific. You see, during the Golden Age, it was not uncommon for heroes to name themselves after a type of weapon, with no modifiers, mind you, just the. You had, for instance, the sword, the shield, and the arrow, among others. Now, all of these are pretty cool, but I believe I have discovered a weapon-monikered superhero who beats them all for sheer epicness. The grenade! Think about it. What do these weapons do? A sword will cut you or stab you, a shield will block your attack, an arrow will shoot you. A grenade, on the other hand, will blow you up! Ain't no messing around with a grenade, you just try it and boom! You're is gone, baby! Well, I would dearly love to do an entire series of grenade reviews. Unfortunately, the fellow only made this one appearance and was never heard from again. So let's make the most of what we've got. I don't want to spoil his first in-story appearance. Trust me, you'll understand why when I get to it, so I won't show you the first panel in full, since it features him. Instead, we'll stick to the narration for now. The grenade! Eerie figure of the dawn, he preys on evildoers when the great metropolis sleeps. Except for the people who have to get up early, or the ones who are sound asleep until the garbage trucks woke them up, or Mr. Jones with his cat who always wants milk at 6 a.m. sharp. There's not much actual crime going on around dawn, but does he let that stop him? No! Let us turn back a year and witness the beginning of this crime buster. One summer eve, Danny Corbett is walking along when... Blammo! Only 3 panels in and we've already got explosions. Is this comic living up to its promise or what? We then cut to... I don't know, somewhere, where someone has evidently made a bit of a whoopsie. But I tell you, I killed him! The hand grenade blasted him to sky high! You fool! You killed the wrong man! For the mistake you made, you must die! Yeah, it's Nazis. Again. Don't worry, this isn't going to be the all Nazis all the time show. We'll be seeing plenty of other villain varieties, but for now, yeah, Nazis. Woohoo. Then, at the command from the leader, the doomed Nazi member is brought before the Fat Man, still struggling to break free, but in vain. Ha! Wait! So that's the Fat Man, huh? He doesn't look all that fat to me. I mean, maybe he's a trifle portly, perhaps a touch on the squat side, but overall I'd say a more accurate description would be the short man. I have indeed a much better way out for those who fail to carry out my orders right. Gentlemen, behind these great doors is a terrible, deadly, half-man, half-beast. I'm tempted to ask which half is which, but I'm almost certain I wouldn't like the answer. Zongo! The door, please! Very common German name, Zongo, right up there with Leon and Maximilian.
No, it's not! Shut up, Jeremy!
Stand back and be ready with your gun! He is most dangerous when mad! Now open the door! So Zongo opens the door, out the brute comes, and hang on a second, I've just noticed something. See that swastika on the wall there? Its arms face left. In fact, all of the ones we see in this comic face left, with one exception that I'll get to in a moment. There is a left-pointing swastika, but it's a Buddhist symbol, not a Nazi one. All Nazi swastikas point right. Clearly, there is only one explanation for this. We are dealing with a splinter cell of Buddhist Nazis! I tell you, it all makes perfect sense! The Fat Man recruited them from the ranks of American Buddhists and brainwashed them into Nazism! Buddhists tend to be sympathetic towards Asian cultures, so he seduced them into the fold by pointing out the oppression of Japanese Americans suffering in internment camps. And we know that he is the mastermind behind it all, because he's the only one wearing a real Nazi swastika in the first panel that I didn't show you. You gods, once you've noticed it, it's so incredibly obvious! And to think, all of this communicated by a simple detail that no one making comics at the time would be likely to know or care about. Try and get subtext past me, will they? Ha ha! Fools. Okay, so where was I again? Oh, yes. Monster!
Suddenly, the huge door burst open, and there stood a horrible-looking thing. Bent and twisted, the monster was on the kill! Kill! Kill!
Yes, I don't think a cheerleader is required here, Fat Man. And it would appear that the monster agrees with me because it belts him a good one,
Laughing and screaming all the while, and its horrible face expressing an anger of death.
I'm angry at you, Death. You kill things. That's my job.
Coming closer and closer to the victim, and its eyes flashing like a heat ray into a steel wall, it raises its huge hand and splats the helpless human against the table, this doing in all the viciousness of a jungle beast, the gorilla. Yes, the gorilla! So fearsome, so deadly, that neither Nazis nor basic grammatical structures stand a chance against it!
Well, naturally the assembled company finds that their sensitive Buddhist Nazi sensibilities are shocked by this display of carnage, so the Fat Man takes appropriate measures.
Shoot him! He's getting too wild!
But what if he was my brother in a past lifetime?
Do it!
Okay.
4 shots ring out, and the killer slumps to the floor, dead!
Wait, that's it? He's dead? He's not going to face off against the hero, or hoist the villain by his own petard, or, well, anything? I must say, this shows astoundingly poor judgment on the Fat Man's part. I mean, it's clear that he'd only just acquired this monster, or else everyone would already know about it. So, what, did he just bung this whacking great cannibal Neanderthal into a side room and leave it there without securing it in any way, and then just expect it to play nice? What was he thinking? Well, anyway, we've spent enough time frolicking with the Nazis for now, so let's move on.
Meanwhile, the newspapers carry the story of the tragedy, and in the office of the City Star, the editor speaks.
Corbett, I was deeply shocked on hearing of your brother's death. Frankly, I believe your brother met with the evil work of Nazi killers who apparently were after something. Yes, well, frankly, I'm psychic, you know. I'd never told you till now because I didn't want to spoil the surprise. I was saving it for your birthday.
You're right, boss. There's no question about it.
There's a lot of questions about it, starting with why and ending with most of the dictionary. I'm going to do a bit of investigating myself, and if I ever get my hands on the party who... Is it just me, or is Bruce being a wee bit casual about all this? Far be it from me to dictate how he should grieve his own brother's death, but you'd think he'd at least be, I don't know, not smirking confidently?
Hey, Bruce, I just heard the news. That's horrible, man. I'm so sorry.
Could have been worse. I'm off to kill some Nazis! Half an hour later, a sleek yellow car came to a sudden stop in front of Dr. Lorbin's vast palatial mansion. Dr. Lorbins was found sitting in his chair, stabbed to death.
Who was Dr. Lorbins, and why was he there, and why was he sitting and stabbed in his chair by the henchman of he who is termed Adipose? Don't ask me. Don't ask him. He's quite dead. No one knows.
First my brother, and now Dr. Lorbins. This calls for quick action. For a minute, Bruce Corbett stood frozen in the room in strange meditation, dark shadows casting around him, and then he decided to play a grim dual role.
Alright, folks, here it comes. The moment I've been promising you. The first true reveal of the hero in all his glory. Get ready.
Now Bruce Corbett had one thought in his mind, to avenge his brother's death. After obtaining proper information, he set out to destroy the limping Nazi and...
Wait, what? The limping Nazi? Who's the limping Nazi? Does he mean the Fat Man? But he's the Fat Man! True, the actual title of the story that I've ignored up till now is The Case of the Limping Nazi, but when has this alleged limp of his even been mentioned? From his very first appearance, he's been called nothing but the Fat Man. Why isn't this The Case of the Fat Man? Comic, you're taunting me. Just as I begin the dramatic build-up, you're trying to derail my train of thought. Well, no more! We're doing this thing!
They set out to destroy the Fat Man and his ruthless killers, but as the Grenade!
Viewers, you'll have to excuse me because I'm about to geek out.
How completely awesome is this panel?
I can't explain precisely why it's so awesome, just everything! The colors, the costume design,
The fact that the hero is surrounded by an explosion of pure justice!
This is old school comic bookery at its finest, people, except no substitutes. Now, maybe my reaction is a little over the top, but I make no apologies. If you don't get what the big deal is, fair enough. If you do, comrade! In any case, the Grenade hath debuted, and he quickly makes his mark as a model of efficiency by figuring out where the bad guys are. How? I don't know, using the proper information, I guess. Anyway, we know he has figured all this out, because the next time we see him, he's, well, for one thing, he's changed clothes. I don't know why. His original outfit was perfectly serviceable, and this one strikes me as just kind of generic. Oh well. What he's actually doing is diving through the Fat Man's window while yelling at the top of his lungs.
Hello, rats!
Well, they do say the first impression is the most important. You don't know what this moment means to me, gentlemen. You Nazi murderers killed my brother Danny Corbett thinking he had the secret formula you wanted. They thought he had the formula, so they blew him up. Well, I guess it's a tactic of sorts.
You're going to die the same way my brother died, by a grenade. Who are you? Huh?
Now, the underlings may be a trifle confused here. What do the teachings of the Buddha say to do when a man comes crashing through your window? But the Fat Man is on top of the matter as usual.
Get out! Take care of him, man! Quick!
But sir, we are all out of chai and Heinrich has yet to get more.
I meant violently, nitwit!
Oh, alright then.
Namaste, Schweinhund!
Put him up, wise guy. I'm gonna blast you sky high. Yo! What? That's not the Grenade. The Grenade is a big strapping fella. This is a little scrawny guy.
Not so fast, small fry.
See, even he can see it. Who is this impostor? Is there a third Corbett brother that Bruce brought along to act as his stunt double?
No one will ever know!
Well, if so, he evidently realized that he was about to get creamed, because the real McCoy is back in the very next panel.
And he is getting results. The Grenade lets go with dozens of terrific lefts and rights. Fighting with all his might, the Nazi was out like a cold light. Poetry of war.
Pow! Smack! Biff! He throws the one guy across the room. He whops the other guy in the jaw. Rock him, suck him, pugilism!
Now line up against the wall and no funny business or this pineapple goes off at your feet. Which one of you rats has a secret formula?
No, don't kill us! I don't want to die! Here are the plans! The plans for the formula. Is that anything like a blueprint for a recipe?
Sweating feverishly, the doomed Nazis look on with panic-stricken faces. The guilty threesome were trapped like rats by the man of justice!
And blam! That's the end of them.
Farewell, Zongo, you inglorious flower of German manhood.
He's not German!
Who asked you? But naturally the main bad guy manages to escape somehow. I guess he's faster than he looks, and makes it to his private airplane. But you don't really think that's going to stop the Grenade, do you? Nope, he's got a plane too.
It was a grim chase! A grim,
Yet short.
chase!
Well, that takes care of the Fat Man, or the limping Nazi, or whatever you want to call him. Alright,
Now to make a report to the police. Say, Jim, that Grenade fellow did another job for our force.
We sure can use men like him on our side, Pat.
We, the duly appointed servants of law and order, give our full approval to murderous, bomb-throwing vigilantes. They're just part of the American way.
As things draw to a close, we visit
a nightclub in New York City. A beautiful girl sings.
the owner of this club is a fella named Pumpernickel. I guess he's got a lot of bread. And yes, I am ashamed of that joke, but it couldn't be avoided. Anyway, Pumpernickel evidently knows Bruce Corbett because when the latter comes a-visiting, he is greeted effusively. Say, Bruce, I've just hired a new singer. She's got class. I'll introduce you to her. Here she comes. Shall we dance, Bruce? I've missed you, dear. Yes, my charming wife, said the spider to the fly. Oh dear me, how awkward, I guess? So that was the brief career of the Grenade. As you may have gathered, this is not exactly a work of deathless genius. In fact, it's one of the more bizarrely incompetent comics I've ever read. But you know what? I believe in this character. I believe in the concept, I believe in the costume, I believe in the promise of that one single panel. Punisher-style vigilantes are not really my thing, but where it works, and this works. And hey, he's in the public domain, so if any of you out there agree with me, go ahead and do something with him. I'd be interested in the results. So the final word is as follows. The American Buddhist Nazi fringe element is not comprised of particularly competent individuals. There are more early rising criminals than is commonly known. Bad guys can apparently be saddled with 2 descriptive nicknames at once. Bringing along your younger brother on your bloody quest for vengeance is a dangerous and questionable practice, and grenades go BOOM! Toodaloo!